So, Kite, do you watch Doctor Who?
No, but I know what it is.
Okay. So there's an episode, I think it's during David Tennant's run as the Doctor, where there are these race of aliens called the Ood, right? They
Mhm.
are these they look kind of like little Cthulhu things with tentacles and what have you, and they serve as slaves to some sort of corporation. It's been many, many years since I watched the episode.
Mhm.
And the head of this corporation is like really stressed or something, and he's losing his hair throughout the entire episode. And by the end of the episode, he goes through this absolutely horrifying body modification, gore horror thing where he turns into an Ood.
Ooh,
Eh,
okay.
Yeah. And that kind of story always freaks me out so much. Much in the same way that Marsh's transformation freaked
Ah, I
me
see
out.
it. Yeah, you
Um,
did get very freaked out. Yeah.
yeah. They are slightly different in the sense that with Marsh, there was a trade off. He knew what was happening, so to speak,
Mhm.
presumably. He made this trade for great power. But there's a more like long form transformation sequence that also freaks me out. And they're sort of connected, but slightly different. And I I got a little freaked out this chapter over Dogosaur.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Cause
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, because like it's one thing to enjoy being a dog and to like really enjoy the body and test the limits of the body and what have you.
Hmm.
But this chapter felt very, very much like he is psychologically turning into more of a dog.
Oh no, I'm so scared if that's no. I was enjoying it was so endearing and things like that. So now, but now I'm like, no, I don't want him to decline into just dog. I need the assure part.
I don't think that's what's happening. To be
Okay.
totally clear, I think he's just enjoying being a dog. But there was something about something about it that just freaked me out this chapter.
Yeah, I can see that if that's part of something that disturbs you, that kind of slow transform, like creep towards something transforming into something else. Yeah, I see how I can see it.
Yeah. But also, holy shit, what is the deepness?
Oh yeah, hello. What? Like it? I did not know that we were gonna get to that sort of thing. Look, we've been waiting for so long to understand what's going on that when we actually do get something like a semblance of a crumb of a we're gonna get the answer, it's kind of shocking.
And it just cuts off. So help me, if we don't get it next chapter, I will be pissed.
Yeah.
And I have been racking my brain all week trying to put it together and figure out whatever it is that she's figured out.
Yeah, because you look at the thoughts she has before and then it's like, oh, it just occurred to her. And you're like, oh, this has been one of the most difficult things. We're just like, no, you got to put the book down. You can't go to the next chapter. Oh,
Yep. And it was a short chapter, so I
yeah.
so could have easily
Mm.
messaged you and been like, hey, let's do a blind right now because I need to know. But I did not opt to do that. So
Yeah.
I've just been sitting in agony over this mystery all week.
As we should, both of us. This is the process. It's an interesting experience.
Indeed. Now, shall we get into the chapter?
Let us.
Excellent. This time, I think I will genuinely offer you, Kite, the choice of which character you would like to do for this intro.
Oh goodness. So we've done Breeze. Have we done Ham? Yes, we've done Ham. Oh, we did Spook. I enjoyed Spook.
We did.
We
I
haven't
should
done.
caveat it has to be a character we have not done yet.
Have we done? I was going to say we done Mondu.
Mon Dieu?
Have we done what's the captain guy?
Demure.
Demure, there you go. Yes. Have we done Demure?
We did the Lord Ruler,
Okay.
but we can do Demure.
Or should we do wait, have we done Dogassur either? We should
We
do
have
it in
not
honor.
done Dogasaur.
Yeah, we should do that in honor of this chapter.
Excellent.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. For this particular series, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, that darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are both going into the story completely new with almost no knowledge of the story or world.
Each segment, we intend to cover what happens in each new chapter and discuss our experience along the way.
Hold on to your butts, because this is Ascension Unleashed, a blind read-through, and today we will be covering Chapter 29.
Chapter 29!
I tried.
There. I thought it was great. There were other proofs to connect Alendi to the hero of ages. Smaller things. Things that only one trained in the lore of the anticipation would have noticed. The birthmark on his arm. The way his hair turned gray when he was barely 20 and 5 years of age. The way he spoke, the way he treated people, the way he ruled. He simply seemed to fit. My very first thought was, does Sazed have white hair?
Yeah. When did his hair get? I did consider that. It wasn't my first one, but yeah, I did think, wait, we don't know what Sazed's hair color is. He shaves it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And if he does have white hair, when did it start going that color?
Exactly. Of course, if it is Vin, we can look forward to white-haired Vin.
Go, yes, that would look cool.
I support it. The way he ruled might rule out, pardon the pun, Vin, and to a point Sazed, unless they happen to make Sazed leader the Synod at a later point or something like that. I wouldn't even begin to know how to speculate on that stuff, but I can't imagine a scenario that leads to Vin being some kind of leader or ruler.
Yeah.
I mean, if she marries Ellen, she would be the queen, but she doesn't strike me as someone who would spend much time leading as queen.
Yeah, not now. I don't think so. She might have to develop towards that. We had the scene of her speaking to the people in the street, by the dress shop, and she kind of had to lean into that sort of thing. But yeah, she's not a governor.
Yeah.
By any means.
But the way he spoke, the way he treated people, I think Sazed speaks extremely eloquently, and he certainly represented himself in his conversation with Tindwyl, and he always treats people with respect. These are all good qualities. Now, people did say that Alendi was ruthless, or Quan said it, and Vin can probably be... Do you think Vin is capable of Ruth?
She's
or
capable
being
of
without
wrath.
Ruth?
She is capable of wrath. So I think if she's angry enough, she would be without Ruth.
Okay. But I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, okay, so did you not think of Ellen at all in this paragraph?
Well, I didn't spend much, if any, time on Ellen, but as you invoke him, it does occur to me that Alendi doesn't seem to have been an allomancer of any kind. Now, we have theorized that whatever happened at the Well of Ascension resulted in allomancy, which could explain away that fact. But that being said, there is that parallel between Elend and Alendi.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at all of them. So it's my question actually became, hold up. There's lots of little bits and pieces that made Alendi look like he was the guy, right? maybe he was the guy. And then there was more. Then there's more people to come. And remember, it was one of my earlier our earlier discussions about the prophecy, sort of the nature of prophecy, where we could have Elendi be the right guy for that part of the prophecy, and then we have other things for other parts of the prophecy. Yeah,
different people have different roles to fulfill.
Yeah, I mean the joke. I think the joke we made as well was the hero of ages was the friends we made along the way. Kind of, we could because it's something as a prophecy makes it so that you can have something as silly, I suppose, as friendship be the prophecy, like that be the fulfillment of prophecy. So what I was thinking of is, okay, like we could have Elend be Alendi. That was also one of our initial theories in the parallels. I don't know. I guess it's because we've just had Elend, trying to do his kingly things, that the first person I did think of, I was like, wait, how old is Elend? And how has his hair turned? That's what I was thinking. And I was like, cool, we're looking for a birthmark as well. Let's look if Elend has it. That's what I was wondering. But then the second theory that came was maybe Alendi was it. This could be a red herring for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me on that. But also, yeah, he simply seemed to fit. Was something I circled there. It's like, yeah, it's easy. That's what happens when you're like, oh, this sign and this sign, they aligned. So you'll find this confirmation bias kind of comes along into this. So,
right.
But also wondering just about fitting, who fits where. I kept that theme in mind as we continued into the chapter.
Gotcha. All right, then. Into the chapter, yes?
Yes.
Tell me, mistress, Orasur said, lying lazily, head on paws. I have been around humans for a goodly number of years. I was under the impression that they needed regular sleep. I suppose I was mistaken. Vin sat on a rooftop stone ledge, one leg up against her chest, the other dangling over the edge. Keep Hastings towers were dark shadows in the mists to her right and left.
I sleep.
Occasionally, Orasur yawned, a deep, tongue-stretching yawn. Was he adopting more canine mannerisms? So that was the first line that was kind of like, oh no, for me, personally.
Yeah, for you it was a bit shuddery.
But the more wholesome take is, I think he likes being a dog.
Yeah, and he looks cute. With like dog yawns are cute, man.
Yeah. Vin turned away from the Condra, looking east over the slumbering city of Luthadel. There was a fire in the distance, a growing light that was too large to be of man's touch. Dawn had arrived. Another night had passed, making it nearly a week since she and Elend had visited Straff's army. Zane had yet to reappear. Okay. A week?
Yeah, I was flabbergasted because what my thought was, yeah, she's going to get attacked that night.
That's what I thought. I was expecting an immediate or near immediate attack.
Yes, like a couple. I understood. Okay, he has to gather the army of little strufflings, and he's got to do that. So that might not be that night in question. So it might have taken maybe a day or two. But yeah, a week? No, I thought it was going to be a lot more immediate.
Yeah, and two things. One, I'm expecting Zane is going to try and lure her into a trap. Like, not be mysterious. Be like, hey, come with me. I want to show you something. And she's going to go with him. That's my expectation there. But part two, how long did Elend say he had? A month? 4 weeks?
Yeah, before they had to have another king.
Before the election or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is a lot of time that we have just missed out on and written away.
Yeah. And we've just got an exhausted sort of Vin. And we're like, well, what's happened? We've got a little bit of a summary of what's happening, our speeches and whatever. And it's like, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. You're burning pewter, aren't you? To stay awake? Vin nodded. Beneath a light burn of pewter, her fatigue was only a mild annoyance. She could feel it deep within her if she looked hard, but it had no power over her. Her senses were keen, her body strong. Even the night's cold wasn't as bothersome. The moment she extinguished her pewter, she would feel the exhaustion in force. That cannot be healthy, mistress. You sleep barely 3 or 4 hours a day. Nobody, Mistborn man or Khandra, can survive on a schedule like that for long. And then I had a deep concern for Vin, because it's going to reach a point where she can't just turn off her pewter.
Yeah.
Because it will exhaust her to the point of, well, death.
Yeah, exactly. She can't mess around with that. She knows better, but I guess she's on such high alert that okay, well, we get into a little bit as well why she doesn't sleep, she doesn't rest.
Yeah.
But still, she is properly exhausted under there. And that makes me worry as well, because if we get Zane and his friends come after her, she's essentially not at full capacity.
No, not at all. And without Atium.
Yes. So I'm not happy with her. She's got to be taking care of herself. So I'm with Dorkus on this.
Yeah. Vin looked down. How could she explain her strange insomnia? She should be over that. She no longer had to be frightened of the other crew members around her. Yet no matter how exhausted she grew, she was finding sleep more and more difficult to claim. How could she sleep with that quiet thumping in the distance? It seemed to be getting closer for some reason, or simply stronger.
Ooh. I hear the thumping sounds from above, the pulsings from the mountains.
Words from the logbook. So a part of me did wonder if she is sensing the day mist. Because the day mist is moving, and it's moving toward Luthadel, and if she feels it growing, then it would make sense that it's the day mist that she's sensing. But I don't think the day mist is the deepness.
It's just like a part of it, or
a facsimile.
A consequence or something. Yeah, facsimile, like just something that happens because of it.
It's definitely connected to the deepness. I don't want to say that I imagined the deepness as some kind of Cthulhu monster thing. I will say that the day mist that Sazed experienced and says that he saw did not strike me as intimidating and scary enough to be the big bad. Now, obviously, to the ska that stayed inside eating other ska to survive, the day mist was plenty scary, but it just, I don't think that's the deepness.
The mist during the day thing, okay, the day mist is, to me, seems like the mist spirit. It's like it's one puff kind of thing. So they say and I say one puff, like it's just a cloud of mist or whatever. It's not like the mist covers the whole place. In a place where it does do that is the town thing. That is a different format, I would say. So those singular killings seems to be the mist spirits, and then the town thing is something bigger, but
right.
all related to the deepness.
Yes.
Comes back to that bubble of evil.
But neither are in and of themselves the deepness.
The deepness, yeah.
How could she sleep knowing that the spirit watched her from the mist, ominous and hateful? How could she sleep when armies threatened to slaughter her friends, when Elend's kingdom had been taken from him, when everything she thought she'd known and loved was getting muddled and obscure?
When I finally lie down, I find sleep elusive. The same thoughts that trouble me during the day are only compounded by the stillness of night.
Orasur yawned again. He's not coming, mistress. Vin turned, frowning.
What do you mean?
This is the last place you sparred with Zane. You're waiting for him to come. Vin hesitated.
I could use a spar.
Light continued to grow in the east, slowly brightening the mists. They persisted, reticent to give way before the sun. You shouldn't let that man influence you so, mistress. I do not think he is the person you believe him to be. Vin frowned.
He's my enemy. What else would I believe?
You do not treat him like an enemy, mistress.
Well, he hasn't attacked Elend. Maybe Zane isn't fully under Straff's control.
Orasor sat quietly, head on paws. Then he turned away.
What?
Nothing, mistress. I will believe as I'm told,
Oh no,
Vin said, turning on the ledge to look at him.
you're not going back to that excuse. What were you thinking?
Orasor sighed. I was thinking, mistress, that your fixation with Zane is disconcerting. So, already I'm loving this conversation.
Yes, I knew you would love it. It just reminded me of you, actually.
Oh, why?
Of you being like, listen, you're naughty, then you're not thinking about Zane properly. Yeah.
Yes. And I love that Orasor is, or Dogasaur is feeling confident enough to air this concern. And who would know better than
Yeah,
the person we think is the Condra spy?
exactly. And he can't, you do get that feeling he can't reveal why he knows that this is a bad thing, but either way, he's still trying to warn her, which is also just part of the endearing Dogasaur moments for this. Like, yes, okay, he's cute because he yawns, he's a dog, and then also he's taking care of him.
Exactly. I was thinking, mistress, that your fixation with Zane is disconcerting.
Fixation. I'm just keeping an eye on him. I don't like having another Mistborn, enemy or not, running around in my city. Who knows what he could be up to?
Orasor frowned, but said nothing.
Or a Sir, if you have things to say, speak.
I apologize, mistress. I'm not accustomed to chatting with my masters, especially not candidly.
It's all right, just speak your mind.
Well, mistress, Orasor said, raising his head off his paws, I do not like this Zane.
I loved it. Sorry, I just loved it. I was like, yeah, you see, Dorkus doesn't like him either. Look, I don't like him. He's
No.
no, yeah. Listen, he's trouble. He is no good. Okay, I'm in agreement.
When did that switch for you? What flipped that switch? Where was it?
It was just the chapter when we were in his POV, when he was when we figured out how insane he is. Then I was like, okay, no, none of that. My projections onto him of what his personality was like were all gone, and it was like, oh, this is dangerous. This is not good. This is bad Elend.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I do not like this Zane.
What do you know of him?
Nothing more than you. But most Khandra are very good judges of character. When you practice imitation for as long as I have, you learn to see to the hearts of men. What I have seen of Zane is worrying. He seems too pleased with himself. He seems too deliberate in the way he has befriended you. He makes me uncomfortable. Who else but the guy that's working with Zane would know?
Yeah, exactly. But he's put it very well here, so that Vin doesn't actually notice. Vin even thinks for mine, it's when it said nothing more than you, it says Orasur admitted, which to me I'm like, oh, he's not admitting anything. but good for you, Vin. You're not seeing what we see. Either way, yeah, he's put it to her in a way that she can still consider it. He's not just going, oh, I don't like him, okay, and there's something about him. It's like, no, listen, I am a Khandra, and that makes me perceptive in a certain way, and I don't like what I've seen of him. And just by the way, think about how he's very deliberately befriended you. That is something to think about. That is a great fact to pull out there and be like, huh? You can't take that away from him. Yeah.
Agreed. Vin sat on the ledge, legs parted, hands before her with palms down, resting on the cool stone.
He might be right.
But Orasor hadn't flown with Zane, hadn't sparred in the mists. Through no fault of his own, Orasor was like Elend, not an Alamancer. Neither of them could understand what it was to soar on a push of steel, to flare tin and experience the sudden shock of 5 heightened senses. They couldn't know. They couldn't understand. So,
yeah.
Vin, do you love Elend? And you're about to have a specific thought, but we'll get to it now. Do you love Elend? Yes? Do you understand everything about Ellen? No? I guess that answers your question, doesn't it?
Yes, you don't have to understand absolutely everything and be the other person. And this thing, oh yeah, cool. You enjoy jumping around in the mists with him. That's like saying, oh well, yeah, I enjoy dancing with someone, and that means now they are my soulmate. It's like, no, it's not. It's not the same thing. It's
Look,
relaxed.
I'm gonna say a universal truth here.
Mm-hmm.
All women love astrology. No man loves astrology,
Yes,
but many men love women.
who love astrology. Okay, I get it. There's the
Yeah,
comparison. There it is, Vin. Astrology. Listen. Not many people know there's stars. So, but yeah, I know what
that's
you.
true.
And I get what you're saying logically. But yeah,
Ooh.
it's just yeah. She's had fun with him. That's fine. That's what's actually hooked her mind. Like it feels wonderful to elements. Cool. That does not mean anything about Zane. She's projecting too.
And there can be some degree of sadness, like, I cannot share this with the person I love, and that feels sad to me. That
Yes.
makes me sad.
Mhm. But it doesn't
But
mean they're wrong for me.
yeah,
Yeah,
there are other things that you can share.
exactly. And the
And
things
in
that are
theory,
yeah,
the right partner for you will challenge you, but also bring out the best in you and let you be wholly yourself.
yeah. You don't have to be a certain way for your partner.
Vin leaned back. Then she regarded the wolfhound in the growing light. There was something she'd been meaning to mention, and now seemed as good a time as any.
Or sure, you can switch bodies if you want.
Best Vin? Did I not say she should do this several chapters back?
Yeah, you did.
The wolfhound raised an eyebrow.
We have those bones that we found in the palace. You could use those if you're tired of being a dog.
I couldn't use them. I haven't digested their body. I wouldn't know the proper arrangement of muscles and organs to make the person look correct.
Well then, we could get you a criminal.
I thought you liked these bones on me. Orosaur's getting a little defensive. And I have something I want to say on the matter, but we'll wait just a little bit.
Okay, but one point as well is Vin is now okay with that. Like Vin had all this kind of problem with getting him bodies and what. And now she's like, yeah, it's fine, we'll just get you a criminal. It's fine. Like she was uncomfortable with that earlier. Now it's just like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I thought you liked these bones on me.
I do. But I don't want you to stay in a body that makes you unhappy.
My happiness is not an issue.
It is to me. We could
Mistress,
yes.
I shall keep these bones. I've grown accustomed to them. It is very frustrating to change forms often.
All right.
So, I had an interesting thought, creative experiment, fanciful wonder thing at this point. I mean, yes, it seems fairly clear that he is enjoying being a dog, and I think that is the primary motivation behind him not wanting to switch at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I asked myself the question, what if Zane doesn't know that Orosaur is a dog, and by staying as a dog, it will be more unlikely for Dogosaur to have to betray Vin because he won't be around to be given an order, or Zane won't think to be given an order. But that counteracts my presupposition in the sense that the whole premise for thinking that Dogosaur was or is the spy is that Zane knew that Orosaur was a dog.
Yeah, we don't really have an indication. Oh, well, we have that lack of indication. That is an indication. We have a negative indication. That because he didn't remark about the dog, he didn't actually have much of a reaction, which was one of our pieces of evidence towards, oh, he knows. But I understand what you mean here, that him staying as a dog could help Vin, and help him be loyal to what he wants to be instead of being loyal to Straff etc.
Right.
So I see what you mean there. But yeah, what is our evidence? What do we look at to say that Zane knows or doesn't know? And we don't know. I don't think we have evidence either way.
It was mostly that he should have been able to see Orasor shout out mistress. Oh, what am I thinking? If it's not a lie, when Dogasaur here says that he wouldn't be able to formulate muscles from the Chondra Spy's bones, then Chondra Spy wouldn't have been able to formulate muscles and fur from Dogasaur bones. But I did think I suspected that they might have captured Orasor before eating the bones. But again, my whole premise for thinking that Dogasaur is the spy is that Zane should have known that Dogasaur was a dog. So I think I'm talking myself out of Dogasaur is the spy. But that means that we need a hell of a lot of answers for all of these red herrings.
I don't think so. I think the answer, like the whole way through, one of the things that I've always said is, and what it was started actually by you, that he has the opportunity to become his own person in this body if he is Orasur. So all of the changes in his character could be attributed to him just being more of himself. But we have been operating with the thing. It's been our confirmation bias where everything that's different is he's the spy, he's the spy, he's the spy. So would you feel like it would be too much of a switcheroo now? We were too convinced.
I think I've fried my brain on the topic. I don't know what to think anymore. And if it's not, then someone else in the palace is still the spy, and that means someone has died. It's Demure. I'd rather it be Demure.
Yeah.
Than Dogasaur. But
I do wonder.
For Vin's sake.
Yeah. Because I don't know. My brain also.
What are the odds? What are the odds it's Doxin? And Doxin is maneuvering the assembly to name him king.
I'm worried about that. I'm worried that those odds are visible, are possible.
So help me, if Doxin dies an off-screen death, I will be so pissed.
We've just not, it is a possibility because we've been away from Doxin for a long time. We've had little snippets of him, but there's not been anything close to understanding. There hasn't been, oh no, I'm worried.
And he's not an Allomancer.
Yeah. Oh. I'm suspicious of him. I am.
Yeah. My brain is fried.
It was better when we thought it was Dogasaur.
I agree.
Oh no. Yeah, great enduring mystery that we chew on the whole way through and digest. Lol, contra joke. Thank you.
I'm so glad you do this with me, Kitty.
I'm so glad you got my joke.
I shall keep these bones. I've grown accustomed to them. It is very frustrating to change forms often.
All right.
Though, speaking of bodies, mistress, are we ever planning to return to the palace? Not all of us have the constitution of a Mistborn. Some people need sleep and food on occasion. Cheeky!
He's so cheeky. He's so sassy. I love it. I love the way that he uses sarcasm and everything. It's just, let's go. I'm here for it. He certainly complains a lot more now.
Vin thought. She found the attitude to be a good sign. It meant Orasor was growing more comfortable with her. Comfortable enough to tell her when he thought she was being stupid. I loved that line.
Yeah. Good, Vin.
She wants people who will tell her when she's being stupid. And that's basically what he's been doing this chapter.
Yeah. He's just like, listen, hello, this Zane thing. Not good for you. And also, also your pewter burning. Stop this.
Yep.
Why do I even bother with Zane?
She thought, rising and turning her eyes northward. The mist was still moderately strong, and she could barely make out Straff's army holding the northern canal, maintaining the siege. It sat like a spider, waiting for the right time to spring.
I was very happy with Vin saying, why do I even bother with Zane? Good, Vin. Like, she did say, yeah, he may be right, but that wasn't enough for me. I was like, yes, go with that. Look at whether Orosur is right. Why is he right? What could the motivations be? Let's be a bit more Vin-sightful than usual on Zane. You can totally do that. And I wanted her to think more, and then we went more into the conversation with Orosur. But then when she said, why do I even bother with Zane? I was like, good, let's go with that. Let's run with that. And then we get even more, even better. Elend. I should be more focused on Elend.
His motions to dismiss the Assembly's decision or to force a revote had all failed, and stubbornly lawful as always, Elend continued to accept his failures. But he still thought he had a chance to persuade the Assembly to choose him as king, or at least not vote anybody else into the position. So he worked on speeches and planned with Breeze and Doxon. This left him little time for Vin, and rightly so. The last thing he needed was her distracting him. This was something she couldn't help him with, something she couldn't fight or scare away. So it's good that we know a little bit of what's going on there, but we really just glossed through a lot of important stuff, and I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, you were also a couple chapters earlier saying I want more of the political intrigue and things like that. That's as much as we're getting at the moment. That's the trickle we get through.
Yeah.
It's just, oh yeah, by the way, that stuff's still happening. It's like, yeah, but we don't have the dialogue. We don't have any of that. We don't have the characters. So we just have this big unknown, which I suppose has been deliberate, but it's disappointing.
Yeah.
His worlds of papers, books, laws, and philosophies. He writes the words of his theories like I write the mists. I always worry that he can't understand me. But can I really even understand him?
But do you love him?
Yeah, understanding. Like, since when? Have you met women, Vin? Like, oh, can you imagine me expecting my husband to understand me? Oh, get out of here. That's not how that works. Go on Instagram, go and look at all those jokes about marriage, and you'll see it. The joke is, no, you're not supposed to be understood. Obviously, I'm making a joke. I'm over exaggerating, but yeah, she's fixating on this. He can't fly, therefore he can't understand me. I can't be a nerd, therefore he can't. I can't understand him. Therefore, we can't love each other. It's like, no. Okay, but it's nice that she swapped it. It's nice that she said, I can't. Can I really understand him? That's a good thing, because you need to then go, oh, you see, it doesn't matter. I can still love him without understanding him completely, without being exactly like him. That's what I wanted to do, but
that's much more eloquent than what I said. Or have been saying with the question, but do you love him? So excellent elaboration.
No, but with this, can I really understand him? What I was expecting you to say is, yeah, Vin, but like her fixating on that, I like the word fixation, shut up. Her fixating on this, can I even really understand him, can also go the wrong way. She can also go, oh, you see, I can't understand him, he can't understand me, therefore. She can leave the, but do you love him question behind completely, which I'm not here. Yeah, I'm not happy for that. No, that's not very clever.
They need a hobby, like a group hobby. They need date nights, maybe play badminton or something.
Yeah. Well, you know what? She can take him flying in the mist. Come on. Kidding. No.
Superman.
Yeah.
Orosur stood, stretched, and placed his forepaws on the roof's battlement to raise himself and look north, like Vin. Vin shook her head.
Sometimes I wish Ellen weren't so, well, noble. Sissy doesn't need this confusion right now.
He did the right thing, mistress.
You think so?
Of course. He made a contract. It is his duty to keep that contract no matter what. He must serve his master. In his case, that would be the city, even if that master makes him do something very distasteful.
That's a very Condor-like way of seeing things.
Agreed, Vin.
Mm-hmm. But
Orosur...
Oh, yeah, I was going to make the comment, but he makes it better.
Orosur looked up at her, raising a canine eyebrow as if to ask, well, what did you expect? She smiled. She had to suppress a chuckle every time she saw that expression on his dog face.
Yay! See, I'm loving Orosur in this this chapter. Just like, yeah, he's got an expressive dog face. I'm loving him. Maybe this is softening us up towards him even more for the reveal.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it feel like even more of a loss when it happens. So maybe that's what's happening.
But if this is the spy, Orosor can't die because he's a Khandra, right?
Yeah. Well, what has happened to Orosur? We have wondered about actual Orosur. No, let's not go there. We already fried our brains.
Yeah.
Come on, let's get back to the palace.
Excellent, Orosur said, dropping down to all fours. That meat I set out should be perfect by now.
Unless the maids found it again.
Vin said with a smile. Orosur's expression darkened. I thought you were going to warn them.
What would I say?
Vin asked with amusement.
Please don't throw away this rancid meat. My dog likes to eat it.
Why not? When I imitate a human, I almost never get to have a good meal. But dogs eat aged meat sometimes, don't they?
I honestly don't know.
Aged meat is delicious.
You mean rotten meat?
Aged. I loved this whole thing.
It was so cute, right?
So cute.
Yeah. Just these two, like they've gone through this kind of, they found the meat again, and see, that's what I mean by it's quite a softening, enhancing moment that makes us go, oh, I love this relationship, which makes me go, oh my god, are they going to destroy it in the next few chapters? Oh. But okay, like I said, don't go there.
But also, this is, I think, the first time we've actually seen Orosur get really excited about something.
Yeah. He's like, yes. And he's like, oh, meat is delicious. And we're learning something new about Khandra as well. I suppose we didn't really think too much about it before. So we could have maybe gleaned it. But yeah, they eat rotten meat.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just such a neat little tidbit of information that they are scavengers. Of course they would like the taste of rotten meat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's part of their normal diet. And he does say that when he imitates a human, he doesn't get to eat in that way, usually. Yeah.
Imagine it's like us having to eat raw meat all the time.
Yeah. Raw, but rancid is even worse than I can have a carpaccio. We're good. But if we're talking about, and I said carpaccio in the most English way, sorry, Mom. Carpaccio. Okay. But yes, it would be a bit weird to be like, oh yeah, can I have that rancid meat that everybody else is gagging? It would be very obvious, not very good spy behavior to be caught eating raw rancid meat. Sorry, Orosur, aged meat.
But here's the other thing. Part of what I opened this episode with was I'm freaked out over the possibility that he's becoming more dog-like. Perhaps slightly unintentionally. This was a very dog-like exchange. And I'm like, oh no, what if his personality is changing to be more dog-like? Against his will.
It's about food, yeah. Yeah, that scares me, this against his will thing. It's a bit worrying. You brought a new fear unlocked kind of thing for me, because, yeah.
I feel like I'm putting that onto this, though. But no, it was that question. Has he been adopting more dog-like mannerisms? Vin thought it, so I'm not totally making this up out of my mind. But there's more evidence to suggest that he likes it rather than it's an unintentional transformation.
It's taking over kind of thing is not happening. It's more he gets to be comfortable being, because also it helps him if he's a dog. Okay, he is not expected to be a human. It actually helps us understand a Khandra is a creature. Yes, it's a sentient person, and they're scavengers and everything. So maybe being in a dog's body lets him lean into being a creature a little bit more. And instead of being a human, he's not supposed to be a human. So I don't know. I love his journey. Whatever it is, whoever he is. Still, I think one of my favorite characters in the book. I think the favorite.
Agreed. Certainly up there for me. Aged, Orosur said insistently as she picked him up, preparing to carry him down from the roof. The top of Keep Hasting was a good 100 feet tall, far too high for Orosur to jump, and the only path downward would be through the inside of the abandoned keep. Better to carry him.
That was so cute as well. Just the idea of her holding this huge wolfhound and jumping down like that. That also was just so cute to me. Sorry, just the image
Very
there.
much so. Aged meat is like aged wine or aged cheese. It tastes better when it's a few weeks old,
I suppose that's one of the side effects of being related to scavengers.
Vin thought. She hopped onto the battlement and dropped a few coins. As she prepared to jump, or saw a large bulk in her arms, she hesitated. She turned one last time, looking out at Straff's army. It was fully visible now. The sun had risen completely above the horizon, yet a few insistent swirls of mist wavered in the air, as if trying to defy the sun, to continue to cloak the city, to stave off the light of day.
Lord Ruler.
Vin thought, struck by a sudden insight. She'd been working on this problem so long, it had begun to frustrate her, and now when she'd been ignoring it, the answer had come to her as if her subconscious mind had still been picking it apart. Mistress, is everything all right? Vin opened her mouth, slightly cocking her head.
I think I just realized what the deepness was.
Okay.
What?
Yet a few insistent swirls of mist wavered in the air as if trying to defy the sun, to continue to cloak the city, to stave off the light of day. The answer is in that sentence.
Yes, the all of this, what she'd just been doing before, leads to this realization. So I went as well and I reread it, tried to pick it, like even the side effects of being related to scavengers. She turned and like even that far back I went and looked for clues. And however, she prepared to jump, a large bulk in her arm, so she's got the bulk, fine. And she looks at Straff's army. But I think you're right. The main thing, the main focus of that is the mist continue trying to defy the light of day, defy the sun. And we do have her say at the end what the deepness was. So and listen, we've had Vin be wrong about
This is true.
We've had her go, wow, and she's revealed it, like, well, not revealed. We've had her like go, I've got a plan, or I know what to do, and then we're like, cool, and we're with her, and we're like, oh, you just tried to kill a shadow thing. Oops, you tried to kill an atom, not an atom, a gold shadow. So let's maybe not get too excited. Nah, I'm excited.
I toyed around with the idea of the sun is the deepness, or whatever, the red sun. But that posed the question, why the phrase as if trying to defy the sun? It's because the deepness does not strike me as something that defies. It just is or does. So... yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm hung up on this defy the sun idea. And I don't know what to... There's more evidence that the mist is bad than not.
Yeah. Feeling like the mist is a residual deepness of some sort.
Or the after effect or something.
Something turned the sun red, which would be... and made the ash fall from the sky as well.
Yeah.
All of that. Ooh, is it a volcano? No.
Well, there are ash. Oh,
yeah, there are ash mounds, but yeah, I think it's a lot more sinister and sapient, as we've been told, than just a mountain with lava in it.
Indeed.
But it did change. The sun itself did not change. It's the atmosphere of this planet has changed. That created made it red, and of course the fauna, whatever. That all started to have to adapt to this different kind of sunlight. And that's why color is different, or actually also having a different light put on you, you won't see certain things. So yeah, it's some sort of disaster thing that has happened.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
What is it?
Like. What is it? But also just what is Vin? What about Vin's last few seconds made this pop in her head? And obviously we'll find out. I say obviously. We will at some point.
Yeah.
It's a setup. We need to get the payoff.
I think that's all I've got for now, yeah?
Yeah, all I could do is just babble on about what I think it is and not make much sense. And we need to just go and read. that's really what's happening. But good chapter.
This chapter was deceptively brain frying for me.
Yeah.
Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe to That Darn Kitte if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel. And we'll see you next week. Okay, thanks, bye.